to share with you my experiences handling guest complaint, especially difficult customer. My first experience was when I stayed the first night in the hotel. I just been appointed as a managing director. At that time, I have completely no experiences running a hotel. At 2 a.m., I got a phone call from my disco, and the person in charge said, "Oh, Mr. Tan, we have a complaint." So I said, "Okay, what's a complaint?" He says, he gave me a problem. Then I asked, "How much is this complaint worth?" He said, "The bill is 50 ringgit. So I just told him, "You decide the best way you can on behalf of the customer." And I hung up. That's when the next morning in my morning briefing, I told everyone, we can't have senior managers handling small problems. And that's where our empowerment journey began. But let's move on. Within about a week, I was in a hotel. I had a huge complaint at around close to 9 p.m. And the housekeeping staff came to tell me that we have a very big complaint by this gentleman. And the complaint was that his wife asked for hot water to make baby formula for the baby to drink. And the phone call requesting for it was around 6:30 or 7, and we are now more than 1.5 hours late. So I said, "Oh my gosh, this is gonna be tough." So I went down to the room. The husband was there. His name is Barney, and he mentioned the complaint. So I looked at him and I said, I'm very, very sorry. I'm just new in the hotel. This is my first week, and let me tell you what I will do for you. I'll waive all your bill. You are supposed to stay another 2 or 3 days more. I waive all the bill for your stay. Plus, I don't think we can meet your expectation in this visit. So if you consider moving to another hotel, I will ask my people to transport you there. Right. Then I asked for a favor back. I said, "I need a favor back from you. Can you please give me a try again, a second chance in about 6 months' time? I will guarantee that such matters don't happen again." He looked at me and said, "You really going to waive the bill and you really going to do what you promised you are going to do?" I said, "For sure." Then he said, "No, I'm not moving. I trust you, and I'm paying for the bill. I'm not moving." Okay, so I recovered the customer, and about 18 months later on, when I started my company, we had a hotel where Mr. Barney has his office. So I told my sales staff when he make a sales call on him to just mention my name. And my sales staff went to see him, and he told my sales staff, "Oh, I know Dennis, and I know how he handles things, and he is a man of his word. So you don't worry, I'll send all my business to you." Right, that's one. Within about the first 2 weeks or so, I had a professor came in complaining about the food. But it so happened that 3-4 days earlier, I was going through my department head and evaluating what is a competency like. And I was talking to my food and beverage manager over lunch, and I asked him, "What is the most important thing about your job?" And his answer was PR. And I ended my discussion there and there because I said, you're not going to bluff your way out of any problem. And I know immediately I have to look for a new person to replace him. So coming back to the professor, when he mentioned that the food is really bad, then I told him the truth. I said, "Sir, I'm new in this business, and yes, I agree that food is bad. You don't pay for it. It's complimentary, and I just want to share with you that I'm in the midst of terminating my F&B manager and finding a new person." Right. And that was the end of the complaint. About 5 months later on, he came back to the hotel and he looked for me. So I went to see him. I said, is there a problem this time? He said, no. I just came to verify that you have got rid of this guy you're going to get rid of. And I'm very glad you told me the truth because he's gone. I know he's gone. So again, we build up a long-term relationship. Let me also tell you a problem of some difficult customers which we have to end our relationship. We have a person, it actually is a lady, she was staying in the hotel for about a week and didn't pay her bill. And she has no credit. But actually, from the third day onward, we have been telling her that she needs to top up because she didn't top up at all for the stay. It's actually 4 days in a row already. She didn't top up. And I looked at the problem and I said, it's going to be a problem. So I asked the lady to a meeting room, and I got my security people there, and it was about lunchtime. So I told her, look, we already warned you for 4 days already, but you didn't do anything about it. What's going to happen now is the guard is here and we're going to lock the door, right? You can only leave the room. You can make phone calls. You can only leave the room if somebody comes to the hotel with a payment or pay via credit card somewhere else. And I left the meeting. Guess what happened? 3-4 hours later on, the bill was paid. She left the next day anyway. Yeah, it's okay with us. We also have claims. There was also a person, a lady, staying with us, whose dress was damaged, according to her, by our laundry. And we don't do our own laundry. We send the laundry to an outside laundry supplier. And I checked with my housekeeping staff what happened. They said, our maid checked the dress and there was a bit of a tear already, and we told her that she should not send it to the laundry because the tear will get worse. But she insists on still sending. So I said, well, for me, we have done our job properly, and she's unreasonable. But nevertheless, I said, how much did the dress cost? She said 3,000 ringgit. So I had account department issue her a check and settle the problem. About 6 weeks later, there was another big problem in the front office. So I went to investigate what happened, and there was a guy at the front desk checking in, and he has his briefcase next to him. Then he said, I opened my briefcase to check in, etc., took the passport, put it back there. And as I was checking in, somebody stole the briefcase, right? And it's our fault. Well, at that time, we don't have that much CCTV, so I could not verify one way or another. Then I asked him, okay, what can we do for you, right? He said, I got to fly back to another state in Malaysia. It's about 2.5 hours flight. And I got to stay there back 2 or 3 days, probably in a hotel because nobody in the home. And reapply for a new passport. So I said, okay, how much will it cost? He said about 5,000 ringgit. So immediately I gave him the 5,000 ringgit and thanked him. But as part of our process of checking, I just checked which company he's working for. Wow, and to my shock, he worked for the same company as the lady who claimed for the damage on the dress. So I called my salespeople. I said, look, I don't think we want to do business with this company anymore because it appears like there's a syndicate to cheat the hotels they are staying in. So what I told the sales manager was, you please pack a nice fruit basket and then prepare a thank you letter from me to say that thank you for all their support. However, it appears our standards are not good enough for a steam company of their stature, and send it to them. And we ended the relationship. Another incident we had was, again, this is about 4 or 5 months in, and our maids were complaining in the morning briefing. The housekeeper said the maids were complaining. I said, what's the problem? There's a VIP who stayed with us who will use the bathtub as a toilet. I said, oh my gosh, such thing happened. I was shocked. But nevertheless, I said, we should not allow such thing. They said they did not tell him. So I said, okay, this is the plan. I said, he will come back again. It's not the first time they stay in the hotel. Apparently, it's the third time this has happened. So I said, look, the plan is like this. The next time he comes, again, you prepare a nice fruit basket for him. And when he comes, you bring the maid, the housekeeper will bring a maid together and go and tell him that, thank you for staying with us. But as a hotel, we cannot accept that you are using the bathtub as a toilet. And basically, you say that in front of the maid so that there are 2 persons listening in and he will be embarrassed. So sure enough, when he came the next time, we did that. And he only stayed 1 night, he checked out, and we never seen him since then, which was okay with us. So as far as I'm concerned, if you have customers who try to take you in or who don't treat you with respect, you shouldn't do business with them. Fast forward to our latest experience when the Everly Putrajaya opened, our wedding, we were concentrating on wedding businesses because, and we have 1 wedding event confirmed, and it's about 250 people. And when I look at the food requirement, I know that there will be requirement for vegetarian food. So I told my F&B manager and the team, look, I said, we don't have enough experience operating wedding yet, and you won't be able to identify who is a vegetarian, who is a non-vegetarian. So I think you should separate the table and make sure that that way the staff, the lower rank staff can handle it without much problem. But you know, the event took place and I had a huge complaint the next day. Then I asked my staff, what happened? He said, oh, they insisted we mixed all the vegetarian, non-vegetarian, and we couldn't handle. The food all went to the wrong person. So I said, oh my gosh, you guys didn't listen to me. Then the amount of the money we received was 50,000, right? So I said, well, then I said, okay, ask the groom to come and see me. The groom sat down with me, was ready for a fight with me. So I said, sir, I'm sorry, this is our fault. We were not ready to handle separate seat by seat vegetarian food. I already told my staff, but they obliged to your request. But let me tell you what I do. I won't even tell you a discount. I'm going to refund your full 50,000. So he looked at me in shock. You see, you mean you're going to pay me back 100%? I said, yeah, here's a check. I already prepared the check. Give it to him. And then I said, do you have any other problem? He said, no. He said, okay, thank you very much. He left. And a week later, he recommended another wedding event for us. But this time I told my staff, you better not make the same mistake, right? But fast forward, actually, we identify different food by different color tags at the chair. In the same hotel, I had a senior staff, and she is basically an old school hotelier where every single complaint, even the 50 ringgit I was mentioning at the beginning of this video, goes to the general manager for a decision. And we had a complaint, and she already has authority to decide up to 2,000 ringgit. So I said, you just go and decide, right? And she hesitated. This went on for about a month, and she kept talking to me, pleading for me to step in to solve the problem. I said, no, I already empowered you. You should do it because you know what to do, right? Right. So after I put my foot down, suddenly, about 3 days later, she called me sheepishly. She said, "Mr. Tan, I solved the problem and I gave a 800 ringgit discount." Immediately I said, "Congratulations. If I had stepped in to solve the problem, my time cost would be at least 4 or 5 times what you have compensated, and thank you for doing the job for me." So these are the type of people we run across in our hotel line, and we have to be thinking like a businessman. And earlier I have a tape on the economics of customer recovery. So what we want to do is convert all our customers to lifetime customer, but we also do not want to keep customers who don't have principles. We have another story I need to tell you. And as I was running my first hotel, we were talking about generally the difficult problems that the hotel face. And because our hotel used a consultant who is from a 5-star from a neighboring country, I was told about a story that the financial controller was conned of $250,000 of the local currency, right? So I said, what was the modus operandi? He said, there's this lady who will come to the hotel and she will borrow money from a rank and file, small amount, and said, if you lend me the money, I will return it double tomorrow. I just need the money for 1 day. So she will lend, and then she will repay with 100% profit. And what she does is she builds up a trust among everyone, and the amount got bigger. And then finally, it got to the financial controller and said, if you give me the $250,000 now, I will give you $500,000 tomorrow. So when she was giving the $500,000, she disappeared completely. All right. And that person was subsequently charged by the company for fraud, the financial controller. So I found it interesting that one day, about 5 or 6 months into the move into the hotel line, in the morning briefing, I heard that, there's a lady who is a very good tipper, tipping everyone. And I said, that's very funny. Even you don't provide service to her, she's tipping you. So I said, okay, let me take a look. And what I did was, when she was in the coffee shop, they alerted me. And on the pretense of taking a photo of myself, somebody take a photo of this person next at the back. So I took the photo and I sent it to the people in the trade to say, is this the same person who goes around calling all the staff? So it was confirmed. So once it's confirmed, I call a meeting of my staff. I said, look, this is the plan. Since she's such a good tipper, we let her tip. We're going to allow her to stay 7 days, right? But everybody must know that we should not lend her money, right? If you lend money, don't come and complain to me because you're taking the risk. But maybe at the beginning for 50, 100, you can take a risk, but I leave it to you, but I don't want to hear any complaint. Then we also went and tell the concessionary, we have a hairdressing salon, a small shop selling sundry, and we told them the same thing, that they should not lend this lady money. So this went on until the 7th day. All the staff were very happy because she was a very big tipper. So at the end of the 7th day, I approached her. I said, I'm very, very sorry. You are an excellent tipper and all my staff love you. But another friend from another hotel came, saw you and said, you are the one who lend people money and eventually you con. I repeat the case of the neighboring country financial controller. Her immediate complaint was that, no, it's not me, it's my sister. So I was like, wow. And I didn't want to argue with her, so I said, it's like this. I've already briefed all the staff. They will take care of you. We love you. Please stay here. But nobody's going to lend you any money. And also the concessionaries, I have told them the same thing. So they all know and they will never complain to me also if something like that happened. Guess what? She checked out the next day. So sometimes you have to con the con men just to teach them a lesson.